Macaro. La bobo. Mais macaroni, spaghetti, meatballs.
Good morning everyone, welcome to episode 5 of the Managersim Phoenix series. I'm your host Donut Donny, and this is actually my third attempt at doing episode 5. I just realised after doing 5-10 minutes of good talking, I didn't have my mic on. So I'm just a little bit paranoid now that my mic is working. Yeah, I've got my mic working this time, so that's cool. So let's carry on. Welcome to episode 5. This is going to be quite a lengthy episode, so please bear with me because we've got a lot to get through this episode. So the first thing we're doing is the article of the season competition. This was announced on Facebook on the 4th of March. A new competition has been announced that will go in my YouTube series, the one you're watching right now. I would like you to produce an article about the game world, what you think might happen, your thoughts, and what lies ahead in the Phoenix game world. The winner will receive 100 credits at the end of the season. All entries must be sent to me via my direct message inbox, which is that thing there, and not this thread. Please indicate which club you're at, and also an article at least 100 words long. Entries will then be shown on my YouTube series. So which will probably be towards the end of the season, so it doesn't give any people ideas of what they could do. I want to give it quite a surprise when I release all the entries. Probably the top 3, something like that, depending on how many entries we get, because currently, even from this Facebook article, I've had no new entries in at the moment. So yeah, anything about the game world. It could be about your club, could be about your league, could be what you think is going to happen in the game world, what you want to improve to the game world, because I'm sure Burnham will take all this in and he'll give some ideas. Anything about the Phoenix game world. It must be at least 100 words long, please. And then at the end of the season, end of my Georgian season, I will announce who the winner is and they will receive 100 credits. Now these credits are, if you don't know again, are the things that are up here. At the moment I've got 4 credits at Tbilisi. These credits can be used for checking any player in the game world. You just go into a player, click on assistant manager, assistant report. There you go, assistant report, and then click on that and he'll give you a review of that player if he's good enough or not. Again, no point doing assistant report on your own players unless you really just want to see how good they are, because again that's going to be free. On your own players it's free. I think loanies that come into your players, it does cost credits, so because they actually belong to another club. But any other player in the game world, you can click assistant report and it costs 1 credit and you get a report of that player straight away. Also, these credits are used for changing positions of your players in your own side. I think it's about 2 or 3 credits per person. So for instance, this player here, I could add him as a midfielder as well if I wanted to, so be a defensive midfield centre, and that will cost more credits. So yes, please send some articles to me through a direct message, and then I'll go through all of them, and then who decides who will win, who will get the credits at the end of my Georgian season, which I think is something like May time in the game world. So this is only August at the moment, so we've got quite a while until that happens. Okay, what else are we doing today? Well, we're doing something very brand new, something quite exciting. We are doing the top countdown of Youth Academies, and I've even done a screen. Look at that. It will be generally the top 10 Managersim Football Youth Academies at the moment, but for today, because it's brand new and it's the first one, and we might do this once a month also, we're doing the top 20 Youth Academies countdown. So this is the amount of time people invest in their Youth Academies money to see what good youth players they're going to get. Now, getting Youth Academy, getting decent players will be random no matter what country you're in, but the general rule is if you haven't got much capital but investing a lot in Youth Academies, you will be featured in a top 20 list. So for instance, if you've got some like 2 million capital but you're putting at least 100,000 or something, or close to what the limit of the board says, then you will feature probably in this list. But will you get some quality players? Yes, you might get some quality players, but it is pretty random. But in the brand new game world, having a good youth coming into your first side, your first team, is actually quite good. and could help you very much in the long term. So let's go and have a countdown, and well, we're looking at a countdown screen here. Let's have a look and see who is from 20 up to the top. And please forgive me, I will go through the map screen to find all the clubs. I even got the list right in front of me, but I had to write down the country to some of these clubs because I've never heard of some of these clubs until now. So we're going to click back to the Managersim screen, and then we'll start with number 20. So let's go to the world map. There you go, there's the map of the world. Oh, well, map of Europe. And in that 20 we go to Germany and the second division, and the team is Sandhausen, the only team in the second division, and their manager is Rayo Lerio. I think he's a pretty new manager. He joined on July the 12th. He was in Arat, which was one of the Armenian little sides, so he's moved to another side. He's at Sandhausen. He's been there for a couple of weeks, so it's quite settled. Their team is a really decent team for Germany level 2. It's a level 2 side, sorry, Germany Division 2. And there's youth players. So he's got probably his best youth player at the moment is this Calabis striker. So pretty decent secondary stats as well, actually, for a 17-year-old. So this he could be headhunted, this guy, Sydney Calabis. So we go to number 19. And number 19, we're going to good old England Premiership and Tottenham Hotspur, who are currently top of the table. There we go. They're doing very well. We'll go through the main leagues and what's going on in all the countries actually more so later. So top of the table, Haiku, who's a very well-known great manager. He's at Tottenham at the moment, leading to the top. And his youth academy is he's got 6 players in his youth academy. He's got a level 5 side, and his top youth player at the moment is probably this guy here, William Rowe. And yes, some decent stats there. Number 18, and we're actually staying in the Premier League. Number 18 is Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough is in the Championship, aren't they, at the moment? Under Paul, Mr. Game Master. And there it says, Paul's side. Middlesbrough doing alright so far. Very early in the season, obviously. And you can see his youth academy. He's got 10 players in his youth academy at the moment, and all basic at the moment. No one stands really out, but for instance, you can use credits and you can click on Godfrey and get an assistant report if you want to, and see how good this player really is. Only Paul season for free. Knowing. So yeah, that's not too bad. 17th, and we still stay in England. So we're staying in England now, but we're going to League One. And League One because it's Oldham's manager. Hubert at Oldham, you can see there's the youth academy number there, 17. He's building up his stadium as well, so he's already investing into his future. And Oldham got a good squad there. And there's the youth academy players. He's got 14 players in his youth academy, so it's already building up very nicely, including this guy here, Wise. 70 skill rating for a 16-year-old. He will be 16 for a good couple more months late as well, so his stat could rise. So that's really good. And generally some really good players here that could do really well for him in the future, like another Godfrey there, and Boyle. Anyone 16 who's got stats in their 60s with good secondary stats will be really good youth players in the future, I think. But we'll wait and see. Coming in 16, we go all the way to Italy now. Italy's first team in this top 20, and we go to Inter Milan, or Internazionale. Michael. And his players, he's got 7 in his youth academy at the moment, and his top youth academy person doesn't always have to be the top rated, top valued, by the way. But this guy here, I'm looking at him because his secondary stats for just 17 years old is actually really decent, even though his main stats are not brilliant. So okay, we've got an interesting, you can see here, this youth player here has got 16 years old, soon to be 17, but he's already getting a loan bid from someone in the Faroe Islands, which is actually a good move for the Faroe Islands guy, because the amount of rated players the Faroe Islands have got in the game, this youth player will actually be one of the better players, so he could do really well over there. So he's gone to Internazionale. We go now to Portugal and 15th place. Portugal, it's Belenizes and Luis. let's have a quick look. He's currently 15th. He's got a really good side there. Yeah, he's got 13 players in the Youth Academy, so he's been starting to spend quite heavily. He's got a 2 million rated youth player. So that's what I'm talking about, how random you can get these youth players sometimes. And straight away, he's got a 2.2 million rated youth player who will be a first team regular, I'm sure. And he's got really good secondary stats, so that's really good for him. And to cop that, he's also got really 2 good young goalies, 3 young goalies actually. All 3 of them could do really well, could go on loan. He's got a really good defender there. Oh wow, this Youth Academy's got full of talent here. There's at least 5 or 6 really good youth players here I can see very quickly. Like, we've got a 16-year-old here who's got a shooting stats 78 and really good secondary stats. Wow, wish I had a player like that. Oh, he's on loan from Estoril. Okay, he's not one of his then. That's another thing you need to check, actually, see if these actually are your own loanies or not, because sometimes that's from Rio. Oh, that's interesting. He's bringing loanies from other teams. So half of this is not his actual loan players, it's his own players, except for that defender there. What about Campello? No, Campello's on loan to his side. No, that's one of his own players. So he's still got a really decent youth academy, but slight red herring there, because at least 3 or 4 of these really good youth players are not actually his. And there you go. So that's just going to move my list closer to me. 14th, we go back to England and we go to Fritz's side at AFC Bournemouth. Now, Fritz is the guy who said he's going to win the Champions League this season. Well, his aim was to win the Champions League this season with Bournemouth. And knowing Fritz, he could well do it. He's currently in 14th in his Youth Academy. I'm sure that's going to rise soon. If we look at the Youth Academy side, no one really stands out, but he's got some potential there. So that's 14th. We're staying in England again with Man City and Morton. Morton's Youth Academy side are 13th. And we're going quickly there. A quite decent side, youth side here. There's quite a few potential ones. Let's just see if all they're his though. Yeah, his top one, Rio Grant, is. And you can see he's got some really good secondary stats. He's only 17, so he should develop more. Depending how many games these guys get. If they don't get any games, then their stats won't rise. Probably go on loan is probably the best deal, but you can stay on the loan list and get no bids for the rest of the season. No, that's a problem. A lot of the AI sites just are not making loan bids for any of these players. They'd rather just put out over the top transfer fees and hoping that one of these players will go. But anyway, that is Man City. So 12th we go to Auxerre in France. And the manager there is Frank Canto 2. So I'm guessing that could be a second account. He's in Auxerre. Auxerre had a good start to the season. He's got 11 players. And yeah, they're pretty decent. Pretty decent players there. So we'll quickly go to Turkey is the next one. And 11th place, it's Galatasaray. And Usun. Now, Turkey is probably one of the most active leagues, so we will feature Turkey a lot in this series because we've got about 12, 13 managers here alone. Hopefully a lot of them are not multiple accounts. Let's look at his Youth Academy. He's got 14 players and he's got some really good players there. Just looking at quickly gathering a few of them. Yeah, they should develop really well here as well. He's a really good striker actually. 17 years old, soon to be 18 though, but should do alright. We're going back to England for the top 10 and we start with Liverpool. Liverpool under K. So he must be investing a lot in his Youth Academy because you would expect Liverpool to have a lot of money. He's got 12 players in his Youth Academy at the moment. The astounding ones is that, for instance, this Dot Wright Phillips, because somehow they couldn't fit his full name in. He's already had 1 appearance and he's already scored 1 goal. That's amazing, and he's got some really decent secondary stats, so he's going to feature a lot. He's only just turned 18 as well, so he's got some potential to go up even more. We've got Archer here, who's a really decent defender. And Gray, he's on loan, who wants to be on loan. Yeah, he's starting to play some of his youth players, which is really good news. So we're now going to 9th and St. Gallen, which I think is in Switzerland. Yes, I was right. How about that? With Diogo. St. Gallen in Switzerland then, they're currently number 9, and St. Gallen is a level 1 side. So, as I know from a Tbilisi level 1 sides, we don't have much money. So, this will be interesting to see what he's doing. He's probably on the same par as me. Not one youth player has really stood out there, but I'm sure a lot of these will progress well. He's got some healthy 16-year-old with some good stats ratings there. For instance, Collier here, Bunya, pretty decent there. So that's St. Gallen. We go to Germany for number 8 and Borussia Dortmund, top of the German league after just one game, Eric Callon. And he's got 13 players in his youth academy. Generally pretty good players, like for instance Kandar, 66, 16 years old, could develop really well, seeing some good secondary stats which will improve. And then we'll race up the league to 7th, and you'll recognise this person in 7th because it's me. I'm 7th at the moment with my Anderlecht side. Well, it's my other person. I've invested in a couple of good decent youth players. I've also put a couple of these youth players from other clubs. Oh no, that's Tbilisi, sorry. This club, no, this is a bit different. So I've got Bailey and Odile. It's not the best amount of youth players, but at least I will give them a chance to develop and just see what happens. Be interesting. So I'm going to keep up with my Youth Academy payments and make sure I get some decent ones. Like Bailey could become potentially a first teamer, and Overmere could as well, and obviously OD will be as well. We'll just have to wait and see. Top 6 then, and we go back to Italy, and I didn't even know this club was in Italy until I had to find out. Virtus Entella under Andre. Andre's side are at 6th. They're a very small side, capacity of only 5,000 in this club. So he's got potential to have some really good youth players. And Italy is one of those countries that, like what I found out of Elfsborg and Sweden in my last game series, that Italy generally has a good selection of youth players coming in. So it's worth looking into the free transfer list for their youth players and do some research, because you might get some bargains there. What has he currently got? He's got quite a few good, decent potential players here. Of course, this is still early days yet. Some be hit and miss. Logia has taken my interest because he's got some good secondary stats there. But he'll soon turn 18 now. And we're going to 5 now. I can't even pronounce this side, but I know it's in Poland. If someone can help me pronounce that side, please let me know. Sandek, yeah, I'm not going to. So Dr. Milk is the manager there. 5th. Again, if we look at their side, it's only got 2,000 capacity. Wow, it's a very small ground. Not the smallest in the game world. That's in the Faroe Islands. Those grounds are tiny. About 500, I think, seater stadiums or whatever. But let's look at his youth academy. A lot of these players could feature in his first team in the future. We'll wait and see. Or he could be a selling club and sell some of his decent youths to get a lot of money because of his small ground. But yeah, they're currently number 5. We go to 4th, and another side I can't pronounce, and it's back to Turkey, and it's just making sure I get the right one. Deniz's side, this side here, which I can't pronounce. I'm sure you guys can pronounce when you're watching this. He's currently number 4 in the list, and he has got some really good youth players coming through there. Kumul Karkas. Oh wow, that's really good secondary stats for a youngster. He's going to be headhunted by some clubs, I'm sure of it, because he potentially could be worth an awful lot when he gets older. Is he actually playing? He's playing no games at the moment. No, he should even be playing friendlies to get those stats up. So that's probably one of the best youths I've seen, other than that 2.2 million one. So a really good player, and Kummel as well. So we go to the top three, and we go back to Sweden, which I know so well from the last series, and Trelleborg, another side I know very well. Chad Weaver's got the third best academy. As you can see there, the text changes when you go further up. Excellent academy, really decent stadium size. Doesn't mean you're going to get full crowds though. And let's see, he's got 9 players in the academy. Yeah, they're all pretty average at the moment, so I'm sure that's going to develop even more in the future. He's got 2 good strikers, I'm guessing, mid-60s, 17 years old, and maybe a defender, high 50s, 60s, and he's only 16 years old, because he could possibly develop, but again, all these players need to play more games. We go to second, and the top 2 teams have been the top 2 teams for quite a while actually, and they're both in Scotland. The first one, number 2, is Hearts. Christopher Harrison's got the second best youth academy side, outstanding academy. That's their words. 20,000 stadium. So we go to their youth academy, and you can see some really good players coming up through. Like for instance, Scott, who's on the loan list, which is a great idea. He would do wonders actually for my Tbilisi side. He's got some really good stats here. He will potentially do really well, I think. He needs to play games though. And then we got Elliot, good goalie. And we've got Kwasi, 16-year-old. Oh wow, 16-year-old of impressive stats. Hold on a second. I can't miss that. Tbilisi need to play like that. So yeah, really good, impressive secondary stats there. So hopefully he's going to be playing a few games. And yes, he's been. You can see his stats gone up quite high because he's already been playing a lot of games. He's already played 13 games and scored 1 goal in all the friendlies. So that's probably one of the reasons why his stats are going up quite fast. So yeah, go back to Hearts. Any more we can spot? Marshall in defence. Really good defender there. Really good secondary stats again. So he's going to progress really nicely. Only just turned 17 as well. So I'm guessing he's played quite a few games. Or 5 friendlies, that's not too bad. What's number 1? Number 1 is Rangers. Because Christian then is the world class academy. He's got the top academy, and I think he's been number 1 for quite a while actually. So let's see why he's number 1. He's got 15 players in the academy, and generally he's got a very good defender, Connor Boyle, who I think potentially will do very well for the side. Looking down the list slowly, not really many outstanding players. Kennedy is a good defender, and yeah, not outstanding. You wouldn't expect it to be this outstanding for the number 1 youth academy side, but of course all these players need to develop. Commons is a really good 16-year-old attacker actually. He's only just turned 16. He's going to be playing a lot of games. I hope he's going to be playing a lot of games in the future. He's only been playing 2 at the moment. So for instance, sides in the Faroe Islands or Iceland or something like that, any human managers, they should be getting players like this on loan, because it'd be no wage either, because they're youth academy players. So if you've got a really low level side, level 1 side, and you're in Iceland, Faroe Islands, with grounds with very small capacities, then worth getting these players on loan, because it's not going to cost you any loans, and these players will probably be worth more than your current players. So that's it. That's the youth academy top 20 list. In the next couple of ticks we'll start doing the top 10, so it won't be as long as this one, but as it was the first one, I decided to do a slightly longer youth academy. So let's go back to the Phoenix series, and let's go back to my club at Tbilisi in Georgia. How's it going? It's going okay. That's to put it in a polite way. We haven't had a good start. We've had 2 games of the season, so currently we're still looking for our first win. The squad is still gathering. We're still trying to find that right formation, the right players. The problem is getting the right players for a club that's level 1 is pretty damn difficult, especially as we haven't got much money. I have been getting a few players. A few new players have just arrived today, but the problem I'm always getting at the moment is free transfers are well, I get warnings like this, like the wage is too high, even if it's a very small wage, or you can't free transfer a player because we've got less players in our squad. We're getting numerous problems, but my squad is slowly getting larger and larger. So I'm just looking at my new signings because I haven't actually looked at these yet. So this is my new midfielder. Yeah, he's going to do well for us. That's a good little... Got him for a free. And then we got this guy from... Suddenly the game has slowed right down. There you go. It's gone back to life again. We needed a goalie, and we've got a goalie. So that's good. An 83 rating goalie. And then we actually played a friendly against Shamrock Rovers, which we lost. But I think this was our second team. Yeah, this is our reserves. But playing our reserves means we've got some greens, which means we've got players going up. That's good. New goalie coming in. Yeah, you can see why we've got the new goalie, because he's already our top goalie. So it means I can also now sell one of these. This is a real... I need to rebuild this side big time. There's a lot of things I need to do here. We've got 36 players, but a lot of these will be free transferred or sold. So you won't be seeing 36 players for much longer. As soon as I get new players coming in, I then try to get rid of players. But I'm getting no bids from AI side, or getting very little bids, which doesn't help. So I'm hoping to get more bids coming in. But anyway, that's my Tbilisi side. We've got some more fixtures coming up against these sides here. I'll be experimenting formations. Hopefully we'll find one that works. As I'm getting more players coming in, the side will gradually get better. And let's hope I can avoid the sack. Let's hope I can avoid the sack. Middle of the table, 8th. So I've got to be 8th or above to do well. Yeah, I'm hoping I'll do well. You'll find out in the next episode if things have got better or worse. Oh yeah, I'm actually getting some bids, but these are players that I do not want to sell. This is the random AI bids that I keep telling you about, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. Like, for instance, no point there because you're not even paying a lot. Garini. I think I've only just got this guy. No, I didn't. Okay, look, I'm going to use my system report here. And just going to see, he's a 7.2. 7.2 is average for us. 7.2 generally for other sides is awful, but he's average. That's how bad our side is. But he's got a 7.2, and I'm getting a bid for him. And I was going to free transfer him eventually, so yeah. I'm going to accept that bid. He's going to be automatically onto the transfer list. So let's go around the world for the final part of this episode. Again, it's a long one today. Sorry, the next one will be much shorter than this. Youth Academy, for instance, will be not top 20, be top 10. Let's see how the world's getting on at the moment. We'll go to England first, and top of the table, as we saw briefly, was Spurs under Heike. He's on 12 points at the moment. Man City are 12 points with Morton. Fritz, who again said he's going to try to win the Champions League this season. Let's see if that happens, Fritz. I know you're great manager. He's currently in third place, so already he's basically carrying on what he's done in other game worlds. He's finding players who have got good secondary stats. So this is the way for success, guys, and also finding that right formation. So he's buying some interesting youth players, actually, because of the potential I think they might have. I think, for instance, you would think, why did he get an attacker, a 48 shot? But then I think he must have done an assistant report, and the assistant report might have come back saying he's a really good player. I'm going to risk one of my credits here just to see if he actually did that. Yeah, an 8.8 rating there. So this player is going to be going up by 37 points. 5.1 to 8.8 is 37 points. So if you add roughly 37 points to all this, 48 plus 37 is 85. This guy could potentially be an 85 shot attacker if all goes to plan, and all this will go up by quite a few points as well. So you can see why he's gone for him. We go back to his other players. History. Oh, we've just seen that one, sorry. Bianco again, he's buying a lot of youth players in, which is good on him. Oh, look at that though. Wow. He got this from Antwerp, and Antwerp is a human manager, and he got him for 2 million. Really? Wow, that's a bargain. Only sold him for 2 million. Look at the secondary stats. That is a bargain just for 2 million. Wow. Stefan, I should have asked for more than 2 million, unless he got you in a big contract or something. No, 2 million. Wow, I would not have sold him for just 2 million. I would have added 12 million to that or something. And then he carried on buying some youth players. Again, he's buying players with good secondary stats. Look at here, all over 70 in every requirement, which means this player, even if he's 31 years old, this player will do very well for Fritz's side. So again, if you buy players, and you can see he's been really busy on the transfer market, if you buy players with really good secondary stats as well as the good main stats, then these players will do well for you. And he's investing in a lot of youth as well. Yeah, another good player, really good secondary stats there. That's the key to success to Managersim, is good secondary stats. But anyway, we're going back to the Premier League. And so Bournemouth are third, Everton are fourth, Man United are fifth currently. Mike's Man United side. So it's a battle between Fritz and Mike, and some really good managers in this division. That's probably why I've avoided England. Mike's in fifth in Man United. I'm sure Man United are going to go up the league. He's bought some really good players coming in as well, and selling a lot of good players. Mike's a really good deal and transfer. You'll find those good bargains. Kay's in seventh with Liverpool. Okay, and remember Kay was the guy who brought Luis Suarez back to the side. Luis Suarez back to the side. And Arsenal are the only other who manage, and they're having a bit of a slow start, but I'm sure that'll pick up. In Championship, Bristol City are top of the table with Middlesbrough under Paul. Bristol City manager is Lawrence. Then we've got Fulham, who's another human manager with Yo. Leeds are currently fifth with Roland, but it's still very, very early days yet. In League One, Wigan are top. Tony, they're going to get promoted, I'm sure. My beloved Oxford under Dave Oliver, really good start there. Well done, Dave. I'm proud of you. Taking Oxford to the top three. And Oldham are third. So let's quickly go to the other leagues. In Portugal, wow, that's grown to a lot more managers than it was before. Let's quickly look at the Portuguese league. We used to just have two sides here. We've got about 5 or 6 now. So we've got Ferdinand Ribiono's top at the moment. Belenenses, we've seen about the Youth Academy, are second. Sporting Braga currently 4. Gregor Israel, who's left Israel to go here. Benfica, who are normally top of the leagues, are currently 5th, but again, only one game has been played so far, so it's really, really early days. Joshua Holland is with Setball. They're 6th. Estoril are 7th, and Gregor Israel's second account. So he's got 2 accounts in Israel. Just double check that. Yes, he has. Alright, fair enough. Sporting are currently 9th with Marcio, and Boavista with Alexander 12th. So it seems like Turkey, England and Portugal are the busiest leagues at the moment, and people are avoiding the bigger leagues. In France, we've got one new manager in Nantes, and he's currently 4th place, and that's Tom. So well done, Tom, taking on France, because France needs managers. PSG are top though, no surprise there. League 2, Nantes, who's been there since day one, Teddy Bear and Auxerre. So it's good to see a couple more managers in France. And now Germany. Germany have got 3 managers in the top league. Borussia Dortmund are top, very early days yet. Eric, and then Barnum, second. Schalke are bottom, Daniel. But they will soon go back up, I'm sure. Just one game's gone. And in second division, we've got Sandhausen, who we've talked about in the Youth Academies. Go to Italy. Quite a competitive league here. Milan, Roma are top with AI side. Top human side is Milan in 6th with Thiago. Napoli 7th with Igor. Inter Milan are 8th with Mikel. Again, this is going to be a very competitive league. Lazio, Dano, Patrick in 16th, but again, only 3 games of the season have gone. And then top of the table, we've got Andre, and then we've got Bari of Eric Cantona. We quickly go to Belgium, where I am. Belgian league hasn't started yet, by the way, so nothing to really report there. Netherlands has started, and again, this is another division that's had more managers than we've seen in the last episode. Ferdinand, a second, only 1 game is gone at the moment with Mathieu. PSV under Falcao. I'm going to pronounce a lot of these names wrong, I'm afraid. Ivan, I can pronounce that right, is with Ajax. Ajax was a side originally I was going to go for. Yorkshire and Nano 6th. This is going to be a really competitive league. It's nice to see a lot of managers in different divisions, different countries. And I've got Vitesse as well. We've done Germany. What about Scandinavia? Norway, we've got one manager and Jaden. Well done, Jaden, going to Norway. Sweden, we've got just Trelleborg and Norrköping, and they haven't started yet. And then Finland, still one manager, and they haven't started yet. What about Russia? No one in Russia. Turkey, yeah, we need to go in Turkey obviously because it's got the most leagues. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 managers in Turkey. Currently the top manager is this guy. I'm not even going to try pronouncing your name. They're top with this, I can't even pronounce Turkish side. Thomas, you're currently 4th, but only one game has gone. And again, people, you can come back into this whenever you want to and check and see how the other guys are getting on. But we will feature Turkey, probably Turkey, Portugal now, England. We'll feature mostly the teams that have got more human managers in, and occasionally other sides. If someone sends me an article saying, oh Mark, you need to look at this country more, then I'll do it. I need your input, guys. I need you to come back saying what I need to do, and then I'll feature it. If not, I'll do it as I'm doing now, my own little walk around Europe. Romania still got no sides. Bulgaria has got 2 sides. Their league hasn't started yet. So yeah, just as I'm talking now, Northern Ireland's got 3 sides, and Ireland, they have both their leagues haven't started. Oh, Ireland has. Shamrock Rovers top the table. So Emilio's doing really well there. Let's just go and look at the tiny countries at the moment. Iceland. How's my mate in Iceland doing? Oh, he's got company. This is my mate here who came from my Twitch streams when I'm doing Football Manager on Twitch. He came. I was talking a bit about Managersim. He came over and had a look, and he's really enjoying it. So again, people, if you see this guy, say hello to him. He's actually got company now. He's got a couple other managers there with him, so it's going to be an interesting little league there. And what about Faroe Islands? Faroe Islands, I think, has got one of the grounds of the smallest stadiums. So, for instance, 07, their capacity is 3,000. I actually saw smaller grounds than that actually in this league. Yeah, there you go, 1,000 people. I'm sure there's even tinier than that. But there's the Faroe Islands. So that's a quickly look around the leagues. Again, people send me articles saying, oh Mark, you need to come to this country. Then we'll go to that country, no worries whatsoever. But that's enough from me, I think. This episode's going on for quite a while. So thanks everyone for tuning in to episode 5. Episode 6 will be out in a couple of days' time, when I've got time. Because I have to do this in my free time, obviously. I hope you're enjoying these episodes. Please let me know what you want to be included. Send me those articles of the season, please. And yeah, have fun, guys. Have fun in this great game. And I'll talk to you soon. So it's Donut Donny saying goodbye. Bye, everyone.